It is I, Tantus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on Werewolf the Apocalypse in the World of Darkness. Where we last left off, we were talking about the types of rites, just going over some basic information about that. We're going to finish up that today and start talking about Renown. Now, seasonal rites, they vary from tribe to tribe, from place to place. Basically, each tribe and set will have their own ways of celebrating the various times and changes of the seasons. Some celebrate solstices and equinox, while others celebrate each change of the moon, each time a new rotation of the moon cycle happens. The rites in the book are done by all Garou tribes, and they are seen as a fundamental way of reaffirming their connection to Gaia and the cycle of life, death, and life once more. The various cycles of Gaia as an Earth Mother and their connection to this Mother Earth that they have with themselves. It is said that if these rites are not done, there will be dire and grave consequences. The seasons themselves could shut down and face and no longer function. It could become an endless winter. These rites are done once a year at the same time, normally. Though, again, some of them have their own ways and times of doing the various seasonal rites. And the rites in the book are the ones that most Garou, that all the Garou will know. Now, seasonal rite must at least have 5 Garou in attendance. The rite master must make a stamina plus ritual roll, difficulty 8. If they do it at a cairn, they can subtract the cairn's level from the difficulty here. So if it's level 3 cairn, it would only be difficulty 5 to enact it there. Now, minor rites are the rituals that Garou use in their daily lives. There are countless minor rites out there, variations of minor rites, and minor rites that only specific Garou may know. Minor rites allow a Garou to fortify their connection with, their personal connection with Gaia, a spirit, their totem spirit, or each other. If you are learning a minor rite, it costs you half the number of points as it would when you're purchasing it as part of a background. And it takes you half about as much time to learn it if you're learning it within the game itself. These usually take 2 to 3 minutes, and there are Garou that will ritualistically use these rites as part of various activities and quests that they would do, basically to reaffirm themselves as part of it. Your game master might make you role-play one of these minor rites because it is such a ritual and is a part of Garou daily life. So role-playing it will help show and affirm the fact that it is something you're going to be doing every day of your life. This minor rite you learned because it is an intrinsic part of the nature of what you do. Now let's move on and start to talk about Renown. Renown is represented by 3 different things. Glory, referring to physical prowess, risk-taking, and combat victories. Honor, a sense of a Garou's duty itself, their ethics, their morale, their personal honor. And wisdom, their cunning, their insight, their spiritual connection. Renown is not an experience points-based system. It is a role-playing game-based system. It is an RPG-based system. Renown is a measure of cultural esteem and how one would fit within Garou tradition and stay within their culture. Because of this, auspice especially colors Renown. The fact is, auspice should define what kind of job that your Garou would be doing in life. And living up to your auspice is showing you're living up to the culture, to the society of Garou, and therefore you are extending your Renown. Just because you're doing something that would gain you great experience, great power in that mannerism, doesn't mean that it will necessarily give you great Renown. If you did not live up to your auspice in the actions that you were doing, you may not gain any Renown. And in fact, if you are not reasonable, if you break tradition, if you do many things, you can in fact lower your own Renown. There are things that can cause you to lose honor and wisdom by the various actions you can do, especially if you're rude to your elders or disrespect the culture of the Garou as a whole. So there are changes that can happen just because of the way you act within the society itself and the way that you live up to what the society believes you should be doing rather than what you believe you should be doing. Now, Renown, it comes in 2 forms. There's a permanent Renown, which is represented by a circle on your sheet, and there is a temporary Renown. your Renown pool, which is represented by squares. So each of these 3 types of Renown will have a permanent version of it and a temporary version of it. The permanent version of it is very hard for you to change, but the permanent version is what you're going to be using to reflect changes in rank and the ability to change in rank. The temporary version will fluctuate. It will go up and down with your actions. But the fact is, it is important to note that your temporary pool of Renown can go above your permanent Renown. This is different than Gnosis, Willpower, and Rage, which your temporary pools in any of those cannot exceed your permanent. In this case, your temporary can exceed your permanent, but only for Renown. And again, it's just these 3 types of Renown. So your permanent, it requires great dramatic situations, great role-playing situations that may alter it. Your temporary will fluctuate depending on what is going on in the various storylines and how you react to what's going on in the storylines. But that's it for today. I first finished up talking about rites. We're talking about 2 more types of rites. Seasonal rites, which are done basically seasonally. They're done yearly at various times. And each of these rites expounds a different thing, but it is again another portion of the connection. It is made to help maintain that balance as Gaia as an Earth Mother. Then I talked about minor rites, which are small rites that Garou have to found themselves in their daily lives. Minor rites are often used daily. They're things that you will do in order to effectively push yourself forward in what you know about your life. It is a connection between you, other Garou, your totem spirit, and Gaia itself. A personal connection that you are building there, using these, which are easier to learn and use less time to use them. And your game master might make you roleplay them to show off the fact it's so daily. Then I started talking about Renown, the 3 types of Renown. Glory, honor, wisdom. I told you what each of these were, and the fact is, Garou culture determines how your Renown alters, how it grows or shrinks, and your connection to that culture alters it. I, of course, did talk about the fact that there are 2 versions of each of these. A permanent kind, which is fairly static, and a temporary kind, which fluctuates. But your Renown will be very important to your characters. Which is why in the next episode we will talk a little bit more about Renown. We're almost done talking about it. We'll move on to talking about rank, which it will be important to note how Renown and rank interact. And we'll then start to move into talking about rage. That'll be an important one to talk about, because rage is something you will use as a Garou. Trust me, it will be important for you to know about it. But if there's any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. It shows for the channel, the empire, the work I do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon, link description below. There's some great rewards there. It helps to grow and improve the channel. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.